Hi everyone. We have a very interesting podcast today where we have the co-founder of Back to Basic, who has been very passionate about fitness, about fitness goals, and he has been preaching that for the past 15 years now. He is Nitheesh here, and let's start our conversation with him. Thank you so much, Nitesh. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you. In fact, thank you for having me. More than for doing it with you, I think thank you for having me. Really looking forward to it.
We were also very much looking forward to it, and I know we have been planning this for quite some time now. And I was really looking forward because this is going to be a very interesting topic which we haven't touched so far. That is
Yeah.
about fitness. And this entire series is actually starting with you, where we are covering, the importance of fitness. Why is it required these days? And what are the problems that with today's
Yeah.
lifestyle and things like that. So starting with the very basic question and what your brand name also suggests, why back to basics? Like why this name and how did your journey for with back to basics start?
I think it had a lot to do with my journey specifically. So I was always a very sports oriented kid right from my childhood, and after I graduated from my college, IIT Kharagpur, I got into PwC when I started CrossFit because I got introduced to it. And CrossFit, while was a training methodology, it was also a sport also where you could compete. Every workout had a score. So if you compete, whoever scores highest becomes the winner. So that way, it was a very well fought competition, and they had the trademark to title the fittest on earth every year. And there were
Oh,
multiple selection
okay.
criteria, which also led to multiple more competitions happening locally also, which gave good exposure to athletes. So right in my 20s, I was always competing. I was four times fittest in Pune. I was 15 fittest in India and everything. But the moment I turned 30, COVID had happened. We could not go out. And after 30, you start losing muscle mass and bone density. So I started seeing problems like, okay, I would have pain in my knees, ankles, back, shoulder, and everything. And in spite of having been active since 18 years, I mean, when I was 18, since then I've been active and still I had these problems. And I couldn't give time like earlier where I would spend 2 3 hours in the gym training like an athlete. And then there was a very peculiar statement given by the founder of CrossFit. So he said, always stick to the basics, and by the time you feel you've mastered them, it's time to start all over again, this time paying more attention to detail. uh, Try to kind of apply that. It helped me a lot over 3 years where I was in my next phase of careers. I was very busy with all of that. Could barely give 1 hour, but I focused on certain basics, and I was still at close to 90% of what I was when I was an athlete. And I said, if everybody
Got it.
could do this, they would be at their primal best. And that's what led to the birth of Back to Basics.
Great, great. I think so interesting that one, you get inspired by somebody and that
Yeah,
term stays with you, and then you start a
yeah, yeah.
brand with that. It's so interesting. So I want to ask one very basic and common mistake that people usually do with today's, or with this generation or the lifestyle that we lead. That is, like a very common or basic mistake that everybody does.
So I think I think of course our lifestyle and all does play a very important part in how we perceive things and how we look at things and everything. But I think primarily how fitness has been sold to us all these years also had a very fundamental problem, uh, which has kind
Okay.
of what do you say, structured the thought process of people. So until now, fitness was always sold to you in a fashion where they would show you a very ripped physique athlete, or say a bikini model, and say that this is what you will achieve if you come to our place. And while it is okay to do that, but then you're basically asking people to do something that is extremely hard and takes a lot of discipline. I'm not saying you can't get abs or you can't be that kind of a figure, but that's something that professional athletes do, and it's their full-time job. The way you work, they do that for full time. But if you want to take general care of your health, it could have been sold in a different way where you will not have these diseases if you continue doing this. Just the way we sold how to brush your teeth, right? It's probably the most boring thing you could ever do. but people will still brush their teeth the first thing in the morning because it's sold that way. Otherwise your teeth will kind of get decayed, etc., etc., etc.
Correct.
And when you look at that, suddenly you realize that okay, it's not that hard. If you see, everybody feels that okay, if you want to get fit, there needs to be an occasion so that I can prepare myself for it, and then start off with okay, I am going to get into routine from say first of next month. But then it's not that hard. You can start off just right now. Stand up, walk for a few steps. So it's always been told that okay, 1 hour of workout is what will make a difference, because of which people feel overwhelmed that okay, I don't have 1 hour, so I can't. But if you look at it that something is better than nothing, then okay, you don't have an hour, you can still do 10 minutes of burpees. That's good enough. Or say take stairs,
Correct.
three floors of stairs about 5 times, and you're good enough for the day. Just saying that okay, that is too much effort and I can't do it, and not looking that just small steps will also help, is I think the biggest mistake that we do. Everything, when it comes to your sleep, when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your stress management, everything, like you can probably reduce your stress levels by as much as 90% if you meditated for 15 minutes a day.
Okay. Interesting.
It's just 15 minutes, right? You can any day make 15 minutes out of your entire day, right?
Yes. Yes.
But
Yeah.
people find it hard. How do I get started? They don't even know that okay, I can start off with just 5 minutes. Let me just start off with deep breathing, things like that. If everybody started taking baby steps, I think a lot of people will be much more healthier. I think we try to
Correct.
achieve
Correct.
the
I think
larger
this.
goal at once, because of which everybody sells also that way, right? That okay, I'll help you lose 10 kgs in 3 months, I'll help you lose 20 kgs in 6 months. Overselling and under delivery is why people don't find motivation to continue.
Correct, correct, correct. Such an interesting POV. And when you said this, and I could now relate to a lot of things of why my friends, or you can also say my circle, not just friends, have avoided doing it, and they really get
Yes,
intimidated. Like, I can't do it. It's not
exactly.
possible. I can do it max for
Yes,
2 days. After that, I think I'll get bored. It's not my
yes,
kind of thing, and they
yeah,
just give up. And when you told that it is being sold in a way where people start getting intimidated even before
yes,
starting it. Correct, correct, correct. That's such an interesting POV. I have never thought about this. Now that you told me, I could relate that why people said this
yeah.
and so and so. So when you started Back to Basic or a fitness brand, what was your idea behind starting it? Like there, you have also worked with cult and you have been associated with fitness like for quite some time now, for so many years now. So when you started your own brand, what was your idea? कि मेरे को ये बनाना है या whatever
So
it
I
was.
had my own CrossFit gym in Pune between 2017 to 20 by the name CrossFit Vyom. COVID happened, we pivoted online and we rebranded as VyomFit. We ran that for quite some time. We shut it down officially on 31st March 2023. Because we were trying something else there, and then we took a 3 month break where we went out, we spoke to a lot of users, and we said that okay, let's see where is the gap. And we found a gap where exactly like right where people are just wanting to be healthy. They are not looking that I want a six pack ab or I want big muscles, etc. There is a population, but there's a very
Got
small population. And then we had seen that we could be healthy because we were sticking to these basics. We were focusing on our sleep, we were focusing on our activity, we were focusing on our nutrition, hydration, and energy management, stress management, basically. And we had enough hypothesis that we had tried it out on ourselves in those 3 months that okay, this will help people get healthier. And we started off saying that okay, we are basically getting back to basics. Then back to basics as a name sounds very good for a brand, because you can apply that to anything in life for that matter. Tomorrow if I want to
correct.
start selling say healthy food, I can sell it under the same brand with the same principles, because we have a
Correct.
value chain where we say that
Correct.
stick to the basics, that's it. So we try and follow that everywhere. That kind of resonated really well that okay, this can actually become a brand. uh, it's easy to resonate
Correct.
with, it's easy to understand what are they trying to say, And then when we pitch our story as to what we tell, what we are trying to do, it started making sense for people. And then every time,
Got
so
it.
I've shot a lot of programs for cult. One common thing that came out there from my sessions was that how I am able to get some basic movements done in a workout and still give some amazing results. So that also
Okay.
kind of triggered the name
Okay.
Back to Basics. But then it was a no-brainer when all these things
Got
kind of
it.
fell in place. That okay, this should be the name of the brand.
Got it. I think the term has stayed with you for quite some times in a lot of instances, and that is how it instantly came to you कि brand का name तो
Yes,
यही होना चाहिए,
yes,
back to
yes. Because
basics,
I mean, everything that we
right?
did was at that point doing the exact same thing. Okay, just focus on what are the
Got
basic
it.
things that we need to get sorted, whatever we did, and then everything kind of related, and that name popped up. Of course, feedback from the cult members and what we were doing, how we were trying to program and everything. It made sense that okay, this is what we need to do.
Got it, got it. So when you started as a startup entrepreneur, because anyways, I understand you had a, already a gym and in Pune, but then that is a physical space and you had a different experience, then COVID hit and then you start this. As a startup entrepreneur, the
Yeah,
journey is never easy. We go through so many ups and downs and we have to pivot our entire strategy, and there are
yeah,
so
yeah.
many things to it. So what were the challenges that you faced as and specifically when you're opening a fitness brand?
I think, I mean, my answer might come as a surprise, but I think the very fundamental fact that I mentioned in my previous answer that fitness was always sold in a different way, and we try to sell it in
Yes,
a different way.
yes,
And when you're
correct.
trying to sell it in a different way, while we said that, okay, we'll help you reverse any lifestyle disease that you have. It could be PCOS, it could be diabetes, it could be cholesterol, it could be thyroid, it could be overweight also. If you're obese also, we'll help you lose weight and everything.
Hmm.
And we'll help you build habits. Now, habit as a word in
Hmm.
itself means that you have to have a prolonged effort.
Correct.
But then it came as a very unique stage for us when we were selling, and it took us a while to figure out how can we sell better. Uh,
Hmm.
that when you sell based on a problem, a user thinks differently.
Hmm.
Then they start
Got it.
actually valuing the price in a fashion that am I getting that value or not, and they start appreciating also. A lot of times people start appreciating it as well, but then the perspective is
Okay.
completely different. Then it's no longer impulse buying. It's
Correct, correct,
unlike
correct. Got it.
yearly membership where you see that okay, yearly membership is for 18,000, let me enroll it, I'll start from 1st of Jan. It's an impulse buying. Okay,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
it's the general market price, okay, I'll go ahead and purchase it. But
Hmm.
here it's very different because our value prop is different, what how we get it done is different, and then we are talking about something that people know. They know that they need to stick to the
Hmm.
basics, but they also know the fact that it's very hard, which is why people can't do it. They think that is theoretical,
Hmm.
it can't
Hmm.
be practical. And when you say that we'll help you do it practically, then there are a lot of questions that come in.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. So I
Yeah.
have another question now that you have answered this. Did you feel that there was a little pushback or acceptance wasn't there when you were not selling the program, or, let's say the fitness as what others were selling? Like always I understand that when you sell and you weigh them, like for example a diabetic program or a weight loss program, people do relate to it and they don't do
Hmm.
a impulse buying. They know that okay, this
Yeah.
is what we have to do. But you were not selling the entire thing like how others were selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did you feel that there was a little problem there, a little pushback there?
So I think again I'll have a very different answer to this. If you had asked this question to me 6 years back, when I was running CrossFit Vyom, had I done the
Hmm.
same activity, I would have said that yes, I had a pushback. Today, I will say
Okay.
that people who tried to push back were not my target audience.
Awesome.
So, I mean, I am very clear that which has helped us as a brand a lot as well in whatever we've done. It's
Got it.
helped us
Got
stay
it.
focused.
Absolutely.
Uh, we didn't try
Hmm.
to go and attack every fruit. We were focused on the low hanging fruits. So that way
Got
it
it.
helped us. I mean, a lot of times you will not find people who are actually looking for what you offer. And as founders, as entrepreneurs, we try to oversell it to people so that we somehow grow. It's very hard to say
Correct.
no to someone
Correct.
you know that is ready to become your customer, but you know is not your ideal customer,
Ideal customer. Yes.
because of which we didn't
Yes.
feel
Yes.
that
So
stress
true.
also. When we felt that pushback, we said that okay,
Correct.
this is not what we offer, we are fine with that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Correct, correct. So you also believe in this mind-body connection, which usually people say, and I
Hmm.
do believe in that. But I do not know your perspective. But do you think that being fit or physically fit also keeps you mentally healthy? Like that mind-body connection is actually
I
true.
mean, I personally am of the belief that mind and body are not separate. I feel it's
Hmm.
one unit. You can't talk about them exclusively. I mean,
Got
mind
it.
is nothing without the body, and body is nothing without the mind. I mean, I don't understand if you can
Absolutely.
actually say there's a connection, because connection means you can switch it off as well, right? But here you can't.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
mind is not working, your body is
Hmm.
also not, and if your body is not working, your mind is also not working, which means it's one entity. And the primary reason
Correct.
why people are so lethargic is because their mind doesn't want to move. So it's interconnected that well.
So
I
true.
mean, the most common reason we found is man nahi karta.
Correct,
It's as
correct,
simple as
correct.
that.
Correct,
So I
correct,
mean,
correct.
yes, to answer it in
So,
a different way, yes, that is primarily we say exercise releases happy hormones. You start feeling good. You start feeling
yes,
good, and the moment you stop doing it, you
yes,
start feeling very bad. I would have used an even
correct.
worse word, but yeah, it's that bad. I've seen that personally.
That,
So we have a concept called as
mm-hmm,
sickness, wellness, fitness continuum, which means that say I
mm-hmm,
am down with viral. If you check my health parameters,
mm-hmm.
everything will be way below standards. Everything will be off the charts, which
Okay.
means I am sick. And naturally, I have fever, which is why I'm
Okay.
sick. And
Hmm.
the moment I start exercising, I will start improving, which is the wellness phase, which is in range. And then once I get consistent, I will reach to a
Hmm.
parameter which will be of an athlete level, which means I'm fitness range.
Okay.
The analogy is all those people whose parameters, who are generally not sick technically, but say whose blood pressure is say
Hmm.
150 by 130 or say 160 by 130,
Hmm.
imagine what their body must be feeling at that point of time, because the parameter is actually indicating that their body
Hmm.
is sick. And we know how we feel when we are sick,
Correct,
right?
correct.
You're going through it day
Yeah,
in and
yeah.
day out. So if you
Correct,
don't take
correct,
care of yourself, that is
correct.
where you end up being.
Correct, correct, correct. And that realization, I think, is
Yes,
very important. Like people do not realize it, and that's why they don't take any
exactly.
steps towards,
And the day you
rectifying.
realize this, then you don't want a short term solution. And
Correct.
that, which is where the first point came in, as if I have to tell you that okay, see, fitness is something you have to do it forever, like brushing your teeth. It has to be part
Hmm.
of your
Hmm.
daily
Hmm.
chores. You should feel uneasy if you didn't
Correct.
do it. If I don't have lunch, I feel hungry. That's how your
Hmm.
body should react ideally,
Correct. Hmm.
which means
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
can pick only how much you can do. There's no universal
Correct.
law that okay,
Correct.
you need to train 2 hours, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, whatever you can do it, because that is going to help you stay consistent.
Correct. Absolutely. So, so true. So, what are the three or four lifestyle,
Hmm.
habits that you see these days, which you would really do not promote, and you'd say that stop it immediately? Like you'd categorize them as, bad principles, bad habits that is really not tolerable.
uh, I think three of them. One, I think, is our addiction to screen time.
Hmm.
While I do understand, I mean, I personally get a lot of my work done on my phone, so I understand that you can't get done
Hmm.
without it.
Hmm.
But it's very bad when your phone gets into your sleep time. Uh,
Correct.
so, I mean, at Back to Basics, we kind of practice this habit a lot to improve people's sleep, that no phones on bed. So,
Hmm.
even if you
Hmm.
want to check a message, reply to something, you're not allowed to even sit on the bed. You have to stand up, get off the bed, and then use your phone.
Oh,
And that
okay.
kind of tries to push you hard to say, I'm done for the day. Beyond that,
Okay.
okay, I'll do
Okay.
it tomorrow.
Interesting.
Whatever it is, I'll do it tomorrow. It's okay, I can take care of it tomorrow. You learn to prioritize things. Then I am not going to compromise on my sleep.
Got
So
it.
ideally you should have 30 minutes of no screen time before you get to bed. That is when the melatonin production improves, your sleep improves, your recovery improves. So the more screen time you
Got it.
have, your recovery goes down, you feel more fatigued the next day, you don't feel like doing anything, and that vicious cycle just keeps piling on. So one
Okay.
thing is
Okay.
screen time. Second, I think is majorly the ease of access for processed food. I
Okay.
mean, nothing against food delivery apps, but earlier, yes, food delivery apps made food delivery easy. With quick commerce,
Correct.
nothing is difficult today. You want to munch, there
So
are
true.
so many options available for you to munch, but very little to eat healthy.
Hmm.
So it
Absolutely.
end of the day, it boils down to your willpower and the choice that you're making. That's it. Which is why it's so
Got
difficult to
it.
counter that. It's only possible by building habits. So that is
Got
my
it.
second one, and I think last one is um, people. So because of the thing being told in a fashion where the hardest to achieve is what we sell you, and okay, this is what the
Hmm.
ideal fit body looks like and everything. We never thought about, okay, what are
Hmm.
your health parameters, are you healthy or not? We are worried about, okay,
Yes.
if you have a
Yes.
paunch, that means that, okay, you don't seem fit. They don't mean you don't seem fit. They are not worried about your
Hmm.
health, they are worried about your looks. That was equated with fitness, because of which
Hmm.
everything happened. And that's why people think that if I can't spend 1 hour, I would rather not do it.
Hmm. Correct.
But can I do 15 minutes, can I do 30 minutes, it'll at least keep the ball rolling. So something is better than nothing is something
Yeah.
that it's very hard to digest that, because fatigue is already set in,
Correct.
you're already
Correct. Correct.
lethargic. But do
Yeah.
whatever you can, but do.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Even I've actually written a post once saying that if you really want to be fit, right, if you really want to work out, you just need 50 push-ups, 100 squats, and probably 150 calf raises a day.
Mm.
You don't need more than
Okay.
that. It will give you the needed activity for that. You do it for a month, you'll be a fitter version than you were. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
But the point is,
Okay.
people feel that no, this won't work. You're trying too early for changes before getting consistent. So focus on
Got it.
consistency before looking for result that way.
So let's say a person is
Hmm.
walking every day. Do you recommend that how many kilometers you walk, or how much calories you burn? Do you measure those in any of those parameters?
I mean, I feel to each his own on this one specifically. Like there was a time when I was obsessed
Hmm.
with 10K. Now I'm not.
Hmm.
Now I am more
Okay.
worried about the fact: am I putting in effort to walk every day? So
Okay.
my monthly average, if it is above 8,000, I mean, we have a score that we've built at Back to Basics called Lifestyle Score, where we recommend 8K steps and above every day. So if my monthly average is 8,000,
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'm doing the job. If on a daily basis it's up and
Got it.
down, it's okay, I don't bother much. But there are people who kind of are able to nail it. If you are, yes, but if you are not, then you don't need to worry about it, I feel. As long as you have that habit that, okay, I'm clocking some steps daily, it will improve in the longer run. At some day or the other, you'll feel, okay, I want to push
Got
slightly harder.
Correct. 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 And you very rightly said that with quick commerce and with all the technical internet advantage that we have got, we are in a position where we are getting, there are pros and cons to it, of course, but we are being benefited so much. I feel that our previous generation, that is our moms and dads, are more physically fit. Even now, if you ask me, my dad does walk every day. He completes
Hmm.
5 kilometers and he has that habit, and somehow he is very
Yeah.
consciously doing it. It is
Yeah.
out of habit. You ask him to stay back at home one morning, he won't. He will be like, nahi, mere ko to walk
Yeah.
karna hai, this is my thing, like I have to do. But for us to go and pick one vegetable fruit also, we are like,
Yes.
you know what, let's
Exactly.
order. and we don't complete that physical steps, or we don't know
So which is
anything.
which is why I think we realize that improving people's lifestyle can only happen if we help them build habits, because your convenience.
Correct.
So as a simple example, as a problem, if we see, okay, we wanted things to be delivered quickly, so quick commerce came into picture, and then Blinkit happened, Instamart happened, Zepto happened, everything happened, which is brilliant. There are multiple good
Hmm.
uses of that, no wonder. um,
Hmm. Hmm.
but
Hmm.
at the same time, there's another solution called steps at go, which rewards you for completing steps, but that didn't kind
Hmm.
of become a
Okay.
revelation just like quick commerce became. So the innate
Got it.
ability
Got
of
it.
humans was taking small steps, and doing the bare minimum was never glorified, because it's the
Got it.
easiest thing to do, but you feel like, यार इससे क्या ही
Yeah.
होगा.
क्या होगा?
But the best part is the same thing happens in finance also, right? The compounding effect, everybody talks about SIPs and everything. That's
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
thing
Yes.
that if we understand, then we are sorted.
Got it, got it. So tell me one, maybe one very simple tip that you, because I am comparing myself with, my previous generation, that is with my mom and dad. That one tip to the current generation that they should really take care of the younger generation, and they shouldn't skip it, because with the lifestyle change, I feel down the line there will be even
Yes.
more change, there will be
Yes.
more technology, there will be so many things. But one tip that you would give the younger generation, that you know what, don't forget this, please do this.
So we read this beautiful statement once, which said that I don't need to work out, I get to work out. Um,
Okay.
so I was just having this discussion as well with someone else, that um, by nature, humans, why do we work primarily? We work because we want
Hmm.
to be financially independent, we can lead a good quality of life, we have enough money so that we don't have any problems post retirement, etc., etc. This is the general trend why everybody works. Of course, there are exceptions who might have other motivation, but prima facie, this is what people do, right? But nobody
Hmm.
ever thinks that to even get there, you need to take care of your health.
Hmm.
The saddest part is people start investing in their health once they are stable in terms of
Hmm.
finances, in their
Hmm.
in their
Hmm.
career,
Hmm.
in their life, in terms of family. That is when they start thinking that, okay, now I can start thinking about my own personal health. I want to start joining a gym, I want to start walking, I want to start eating good, etc., etc.
Hmm. Correct.
Because it's been stigmatized as something that is so complex, and not to blame them, because there's so much overload of information.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's also one of the reasons when we said that, okay, let's simplify everything and say focus on the basics. So I
Correct.
think
Correct.
that's one thing that I
So.
would say, that one simple thing you want to do is don't try and overachieve. It's a journey.
Hmm.
Like you will never
Hmm.
stop
Hmm.
brushing
Hmm.
your teeth until you
Hmm.
physically don't have the ability to. You should look at health that way.
That way, yeah.
Which means that there are days when you don't brush your teeth, you don't feel bad about it. Sometimes there might be an off day that,
Yeah.
okay, I don't feel like, I'll just do some other casual thing. I mean, you don't get upset, right, if you brush very late in the morning or very late in the night or something like that. It's like it's a very common mundane task that is supposed to happen every single day of my life. That's it. If we start
Correct.
looking at
Correct.
fitness and health that way, then things become extremely simple and easy.
Correct. Correct. Very, very interesting. I think this was very insightful. And you have given me so many things in the entire conversation that I am going to, take it back with me, and I am going to keep it with me myself. Like, I am a person who was
Yeah.
into yoga a lot. Like, I have been practicing yoga from the time I was in school, like from class 8th, ninth, and my mom has made me,
Yeah.
do that practice yoga. And I have been feeling so bad in the past 6 7 months. I think I
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
stopped doing it, which I never did, and I was a regular practitioner of
Hmm.
like a yoga, and now I'm not able to do it because there were a lot of changes in my lifestyle, let's say, with terms of work. And every day I think, like you said, aaj karungi, I will start it today, but it is not happening. But one thing that I don't
Hmm.
stop is walking.
Hmm.
I do
Hmm.
walk every day. Yoga is something which I am not practicing for last
Yeah.
6 7 months. But yeah, but with this conversation today, I think I'll take out that time, and that phone wala thing though I'm completely doing. I'm like standing, switching off the phone, keeping it, and then going to bed.
And this is exactly what we try and make the impact as well, right? Like, because you've been walking consistently, for you it becomes easier to
Yeah,
start yoga now, even though you've not been doing it for 6 7 months. If you
yeah,
weren't walking also, then it would have been even more harder, which is why
correct,
the most
correct,
utmost importance is something is better than nothing. You can't go to a gym. Okay, fine, take the
correct,
stairs at least. I mean, get your body do some kind of
correct,
activity.
correct,
We often try to
correct,
find
correct,
solutions कि यार
correct.
मैं बिना हिले healthy रह सकता हूँ क्या. It's impossible. Humans were meant to move. So
Got it.
that
Yes,
acceptance
yes,
has to
yes,
come, that there's
yes.
no other way out.
Absolutely. Nice, nice. It was very nice talking to you, Nitish. It was so interesting, so insightful. I can't tell you. I had a
Same
fun
here,
conversation
absolutely.
today. Uh, Along with, getting so much of insight, it was also very fun. So I really loved it. So before we wrap up, do you want to just share something else, maybe about back to basic or about fitness and, to our audience?
Yeah, I think, I mean, at Back to Basics, we basically, so we help people live healthier for longer. So that's the general motto that we serve. We offer a program which kind of has proven to help people reverse lifestyle diseases like diabetes, PCOS, cholesterol, thyroid. They've also helped. It also has helped people lose weight as well. We run some online classes and some classes in two of our apartment complexes in Akshay Nagar in Bangalore. But online classes does help a lot to a lot of people. And we have a tool called as Lifestyle Score, which helps you stick to the basics. Fix your sleep, fix your activity,
Okay.
fix your nutrition, fix your hydration, and your stress levels. And we have an amazing community where people kind of open up about the struggles that they face. Like, uh, even on days when I score poor, like I think yesterday I scored 55.5 on 100. And we share it and say, why did we score less? There are days when we don't feel like
Okay.
doing something, and it's okay. And when people see that fitness professionals like us who've been doing it for 15 years also have days when we don't work out or don't feel like working out, then it's not something different for them. They are not alien, and everybody goes through this.
Mm-hmm.
We just bounce back. So yeah, we do offer some programs and communities where we help you practice these basic things that I've been blabbering all this way. Uh, and apart from that, I think, yeah, I mean, as long as you, to everyone, we would love to see more people move, because of which we are also considering to launch a family plan soon at Back to Basics, where we have multiple formats, and whichever family member wants to do a different format, they can do that. So if say an elderly person wants to do yoga, they can do
Got it.
yoga. If a female member wants to do Pilates, they can try Pilates. Things like that. We want to help as many people move, because I know it's that hard. You just don't feel like moving, and we need the support of each other to kind of make it a societal thing that, okay, movement is mandatory. Just like washing hands is mandatory in Japan, they don't just get out anywhere. Movement should become mandatory here. I mean, with 140 crore people and the kind of lifestyle diseases cropping up here, it's scary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It is. Thank you so much, Nitesh. I will be linking the website link in the description below with all the details of
Yeah,
Back to Basics. Guys, please go and check it out, and do register yourself, because I can vouch for them. They are amazing. And
yeah,
thank you so much, Nitesh. We had a
absolutely,
lovely
likewise.
conversation. Thank you.